Good morning, children. How are you? I'm your again SST social science teacher back with your class. All of you smile. Be happy. Now we are watching the next episode of our series where the human beings who were hunters and gatherers were now shifting to growing food. So it's a very interesting episode. So in the previous episode, we studied about the Paleolithic period, the Mesolithic period, and in the previous class, the last class, that is yesterday, we started Neolithic age or period. As I told you, Neo means new, Lithic means stone. So that is why this is also known as New Stone Age. I hope it is clear. And what was the meaning of Paleolithic? Let's revise it. Paleo means old. Lithic means again stone. So that was an old stone age. And old stone age covered 99% of the human existence. That is why it was divided into Upper Paleolithic age, Middle Paleolithic age, and the Lower Paleolithic age, right? And then came the Mesolithic age in between the Paleolithic and Neolithic. That was the phase of transition. So that was known as a Mesolithic age. And we did the difference between the Paleolithic and Mesolithic. Now children, in the previous class, we talked about the domestication and how the new life began, right? So the beginning of agriculture marks the end of the Mesolithic and the beginning of the Neolithic age. Am I right? As agriculture started. So it means Mesolithic age was ending and which age was starting? Neolithic age, right? Because in the Mesolithic age, people started to get converted into herders and rearing animals they started. And they started noticing down that how the plants grew. But in the Neolithic age, they started growing the plants. As man turned from hunting for food to producing surplus food, right? What is happening? The man is changing from hunting. Earlier for food they used to hunt animals. For food they used to hunt animal. But now they are producing surplus of food. So this is a change in their life. A big change in their life. How? It is the period of the transition. The change from hunting and gathering to farming. What was the major change happening here? The people who were actually gathering the food or hunting the food, now they are producing the food. That was an important change of this Neolithic period. And this transition from hunting to gathering, which was happening, this was not uniform in all areas, that is all over the world. You cannot say that at the same time everything is happening. Like suppose I say suppose I taught you this chapter, I told you to revise the chapter. Next day, if I ask you whether you have revised this chapter, all of you will say yes. But if at the same time you all revise, no. Maybe one child has revised in the afternoon, one child has revised it at around 3 o'clock, other one at 8 o'clock in the evening. Some may have done it in the morning at 5 o'clock. So timings are different. Similarly, this was a major step that from hunting to growing, the people were converting into farmers. So this took the time. It was not uniform all over the subcontinent. This change which we are talking about in 2 minutes, in 5 minutes, in 15 minutes. But it took thousands of years to, this change came in thousands of year. In some area, hunting and gathering continue. The people still followed the same old pattern, hunting the animals, gathering the food. But in some other places, people were hunters and gatherers, as well as they were doing farming and herding. And slowly it spreaded in the other parts of the subcontinent also. So this is the very important thing to understand, that this changes. This is, I think there is a question in the assignment regarding this also, that when the transition happened from hunting to gathering, from hunting and gathering to farming, it was not uniform all over the area. It took thousands of years. In some areas, hunting and gathering continued, but in some other places, farming and herding started, right? And then we talked about the domestication. Domestication started in Mesolithic period, right? And then it became better in Neolithic period. It started in Mesolithic period, but with the passage of time, it became better in Neolithic period. How? I give you one example. Suppose you learn some new trade. Like I say, you learn to bake a cake. When first time you will make a cake, there are chances that there is some mistake you make. But if you make it once, twice, thrice, the fourth time when the cake is there, the taste, the style, the shape of the cake, sponge of the cake will be accurate, very good. Why? Because now you are perfect in it. By making mistakes, you have learned a lot of things. Similarly, here also, people started herding animals in Mesolithic period. But with the passage of time from their mistakes, they learned more and more. And they became better herders. They started doing the better rearing in Neolithic period. Why? Due to choice of selection. With the passage of time, they learned that they had to select the healthy animals. They had to select the animals which were more beneficial to them, which could provide more food to them. For the taking care of the plant animal should be easier. So therefore, this people became better. This herding became better in the Neolithic period, right? I hope till here we have revised the yesterday's work. Now today's topic, which we are going to start, is about a new way of life. Now see, very interesting thing to know. What was the new way of life? There was changing were happening. This means people were following something new. Now children, as I told you, that people started watching that how the plants grew, how the grains were growing on it. By watching it, they also started learning that when the seeds fell on the ground, a new plant comes up. So this gave them a learning, a new thing, that they can also grow crops. But when they started growing crop, it takes some time to grow crops. All of you know, any one of you have a kitchen garden or any plants you have grown in your house? You must be having some pots, pot flowers. So you put the seeds, then the small plants come out. Then you wait for those small plants to grow, isn't it? and in between it can take days also. To grow a plant, it can take days also, it can take weeks also, even it can take months also. To grow plant, it is not very easy, right? So when you have to do all these three things, you have to give the water also, you have to do the weeding also. So it means you have to stay at one place. If you are not staying at one place, you will not be able to grow a plant. Why you have to stay at one place? Why? Tell me. Yes, because you have to give the water also to the plant. You have to remove the extra weeding. That is called weeding, that you remove the extra plants there. So you have to look after the plants. Even you have to protect the plants from the birds and animals. Till the grains don't ripen up, you're not able to leave that place. So it means you have to stay at one place for a longer period of time. Similarly here also, if these people started growing the plants, they had to wait for days or for the week or for the months, depending upon the plants they were growing. So it means they had to stay at one place. Now children, for longer period of time, this is the very important thing of the Neolithic period, because now people with farming were learning that how to stay at one place and still they can have their food by staying at one place. So that is a very important part of the Neolithic period. So this is for the first video. Rest we will speak in the, we'll discuss in the second video.